are the only show. The only one. And I listen to all of them. Other networks, our network. The only one. Didn't freak out when Jordan Love was drafted. And didn't get on this train to overreaction town. What did you hear about Aaron Rodgers? Well, Pro Football Focus said his talent was slipping, and the Madden folks rated him like a 93. And I don't care about the Madden folks, right? They make video games. They put a guy who hasn't played in the NFL in 4 years, in Colin Kaepernick, ahead of 17 starting quarterbacks in the National Football League when he wasn't in the top 20 starting quarterbacks when he was in the National Football League 4 years ago. Either he's captured some magic pixie dust that's made him a better quarterback while not playing football for 4 years, or they actually don't know what the hell they're talking about. And their job, which they do very well, is to sell video games. I know I've bought one, and we downloaded it as well. I don't care about Madden. Honestly, I like the Pro Football Focus guys, but there's an overreaction there. I talked to people in the NFL, and they said the Jordan Love pick made a ton of sense. What did we tell you about it? He's a year away from being a year away. If the worst thing that happens to Aaron Rodgers is he gets a little ticked off, guess what? Aaron Rodgers is really good when he's ticked off. They were in the NFC Championship game last year in his first year with a first-year head coach who ran a completely different system than anything Aaron Rodgers was familiar with. Yes, they got crushed by the 49ers twice because they couldn't stop the run. Which, by the way, I'm not sure if you watched. Did you watch the game yesterday? I'm not talking about the numbers that he put up, which were filthy. Did you watch the game yesterday? How many times did Kirk Cousins throw the ball in the first half? Ramos, any idea?
Probably not a lot.
Take a guess.
First half, I'd say 10 passes.
10 passes. Music, do you know the answer to this, or do you want to hop in?
I think I know the answer. I believe it was like 7 or 8.
Gascon, do you want to hop in on this? Or are you hard at work with other stuff?
I was going to say, I'll go 9.
I believe, and you can look this up, Kirk Cousins threw 5 passes in the first half.
Wow.
Do you know why?
Getting your money's worth with Dalvin Cook.
Do you know why? Getting the money's worth, and they watched the tape, and they're like, the only team that kicked the crap out of the Packers last year was the Niners, and you know what they did? And who's their coach? Who's their offensive coordinator now? Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak was the backup quarterback for Mike Shanahan for years, and he was the first one to employ Kyle Shanahan. It's the same system. And so people are freaked out, oh my God, I can't believe what they're doing. No, they watch the tape and they're like, okay, that's the way to beat him. Keep Aaron Rodgers out the field, run it, run it, run it. They can't stop the run. And they did a good enough job stopping the run. And Aaron Rodgers struggled in the red zone a little bit in the first 3 possessions and then figured it out, and then the rest is history. Here's the thing. The Packers were right, and we were right, and they were right again. Here's where they were right. 1, Aaron Rodgers is still legit. He's still one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the game. If you want to say Pat Mahomes, it's fine. I'm not going to argue Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the game, but he's right there in any conversation with Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson, who hasn't even been close in a playoff game yet, right? It went to the NFC Championship game in the first year with a guy who was inexperienced wide receivers around Devontae Adams. And when he had Devontae Adams last year, their offense was dominant. And guess what? They had Devontae Adams yesterday, and their offense was dominant. And Alan Lazard and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, turns out they can actually play. Maybe they can evaluate players. And you know why they drafted Jordan Love? Did you watch Drew Brees play? Did you watch Tom Brady play? 2 things are undefeated. One is Father Time. The other one Daniel House found out about down in the bubble. Okay? Aaron Rodgers not only isn't done, he ain't close. And the last dude you want to tick off is Aaron Rodgers, because that guy can play. And it wasn't just that he can play within himself. within the offense. I understand Danielle Hunter didn't play. He was the best pass rusher for the Vikings. That changes everything. I know that the cap issues there's cap issues and age issues and reason they turned over their defensive backfield. I get it. I'm not sure Minnesota is nearly as good defensively as they've been. I don't care. I was told Aaron Rodgers' skills are starting to fade. Then I watched yesterday like, you know what? He's as good as anybody I've seen play the position. Which is what I said about him in his prime, and I said about him last year, and I'll tell you about him now. And if an ancillary benefit of drafting a potential quarterback in the future, and again, worst case scenario for Jordan Love is he can't play, and Aaron Rodgers plays really well, and they trade Jordan Love for another first-round pick because nobody knows if he can't play. He hadn't played a preseason game, right? Couple years. Oh, he's trained under Aaron Rodgers. Let's just get it for another first-round pick or even second-round pick. Fine. No sweat out their back. And, oh, yeah, by the way, it stands to motivate. Rodgers. If you think he can't play or you think his skills started to fade, bro, you should. Did you watch? Don't give me box scores. And I'm not trying to demean Russell Wilson, was great. I'm not trying to demean Lamar Jackson, but he makes the old Aaron Rodgers throw a guy open in the right side of the end zone. The Valdez-Scantling throw, which was a touchdown, was one of those drop in the buckets, right? You put a big trash can in the corner of the end zone, 35 yards away, and you drop back and you throw it. And there's like 5 guys on earth that can get it in the trash can whenever they want. He's one of them. He looked mobile and agile. You already know he's tough. He can make every throw. There's no arm strength issues. I mean, he's 32 of 44, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. You tell me. You tell me. And there's none of these screen passes, what do they do? What are they? Shuffle passes that are considered passes. The guy takes 35 yards to the house. You're like, oh, yeah, that's not no. He does the old-fashioned way. Drops back. Found Devontae Adams 14 times. Threw to him 17 times for 156 yards. He's amazing. And by the way, like the dome does, in fact, help. You don't have elements. That's why the old guys want to play in good weather or play in a dome. And the Packers aren't dopes for believing in their talent. They're not dopes for drafting A.J. Dillon. They're not dopes from getting a replacement quarterback for 3 or 4 years from now because that's about the age when guys start to fail. That's what happened with Brady and Breeze, and that's what's going to happen with all of them. Everybody has an expiration date. But I would just point out, Aaron Rodgers' expiration date is not next week. It's not this year. It's probably not next year. You know what Aaron Rodgers is? You ever buy chicken at the store, uncooked? Right? And you put it in your fridge, and then you look at the date, you're like, man, it's been sitting in there a couple of days. And you're like, should I open this up? Because you assume that it's gone bad. There's nothing worse than you open the package, like, oh, guess I got to go back to the store if I want to cook dinner. Aaron Rodgers is the package of meat that everybody's like, man, I think that went bad. And you open it up, like, nope, still good. Throw it on. He was every bit as sharp, every bit as talented, have every bit of the arm and foot talent that he's ever had. And you don't get dumber over time. He doesn't turn it over, and he scores a lot of points. And against a division rival, granted one depleted by a major injury to arguably the best defensive player, I'm going to give you all that. He was as good as he has ever been and maybe even better. Maybe those other guys have actually improved. Maybe Allen Lazard and Valdez-Scantling are actually getting better. Shocker there. But man, do they look good yesterday.